My name is Hanna Janečková and I work in the university library, and I'm responsible for open access with my another colleague. We have also a web page about open access at our university, and there is the email where you can contact us. So you can find like the basic information about open access, what is it, what does it mean, and so on. You can find the news from open access. For example, we will inform you if there are any discounts on article proceeding charges and so on. You can read through how to be open, how is our university doing in this field, and something about the project. So you can have a look on the webpage yourself later. And now let's move to the presentation itself. At first, I would like to find out what you already know about the topic. So I will give you a short test. If you could please fill it in. It's just about to find out what you already know about the topic. So here is the link. You could please open it, and there are just few questions, and if you try to answer them, it's just to find out whether you already know anything about it. So don't worry, it's not an exam. If you don't know, just state that you don't know. So okay, let's have a look on your answers. So none of you don't know what is the name of the first version of the article. So you will find out during the presentation. Also, you don't know about the other option. You don't know also which databases, and also you are not sure here and not here. So that's good to know that you will learn a lot during this presentation. So what is open access? Many people think that open access means that you will have the information for free. But that's not the full truth. It means that the information is free, but you can also use the information. You can see when you publish something open access, you give the readers rights to use your information. But author is still responsible for his work, so you have to give him proper credit that he's the author of the work. The open access movement is based on many reasons. I will mention like the most important from them. As you know, research is funded by public money, but the public doesn't have access to the information. Actually, the information is subject of trade, and the publishing houses are earning money on your information that you produce, and the scientific institution have to pay for this information. They even have to pay for the information they produce themselves. So that's the main reason for open access. Also, internet give us more options to share the information. If you publish open access, it would have many benefits for you. We won't watch the video there, but as your articles will be accessible to anyone, they will be easier to find, easier to read, and easier to use. So you will be more visible, more people can cite you, so you will have more references. Also, it's you publish open access, it would be much easier to find out that your information was the first one. So if someone copy your information and wouldn't give you proper attribution, you can always prove that I was the first with this information. So it's a good defense against plagiarism. If your articles are more available and you are more read and more cited, you are more visible, but also your university is more visible. So it's good for the university as well. Many funders also require you to publish the articles open access. For example, Horizon 2020 wants you to publish open access, and there are more funders that makes open access publishing compulsory. You can check the funders policies on this database, but we won't check it together here. There are two ways how to make your articles available, how to make them open access. So they are called gold open access and green open access. We will look on them in details during this presentation. So the first way how to publish open access is publishing in open access journals. That means that you will publish your article in journals that are openly available. So the openness is provided by the publishers. So you publish your article and it's immediately available to anyone who is interested. Even if the publisher makes your article available, it's also good to deposit your article in the repository as well, because it might happen that the publisher would end his business and to maintain the website, so your article would be lost. But if you put it in the repository, it will be foundable in the future as well. Because the publishing houses lose the money from prescription, they need to get the money elsewhere, so the financial burden is transferred to the author who paid the article processing charges. So if you want to publish in open access journals, they might want you to pay article processing charges. Actually, you won't pay them yourself, but those charges are often paid by the institutions, and they are also eligible costs in grants. So if you would write some grant application, it's good to think about those article processing charges and write them into your applications. There are also some journals that don't charge those fees. You, as a TBU author, you can have discounts on MDPI, by American Chemical Society, by American Physical Society, and by IG Global. So if you want to use those discounts, just contact us and we will help you with this. If you want to publish in open access journals, you can choose from many publishers. Here are just like the most important ones, but there are many more publishers around the world, but we will have on them later on. If you would like to choose the open access journals where you would like to publish, it's good to have a look in directory of open access journal. You can search within the journal, so you can try to find out whether there is any journal that has your keyword in the names. As we can see, I put their quality assessment. I didn't find any journal which would have this in the name. So I will search for articles. I found like more than 100 articles on this topic. So it's also good to find out article that is relevant to you. For example, I don't know, this one, assessment of the influence of UAV and so on, and have a look on which journal the article was published. So that means that the journal will publish articles on your topic. So let's have a look on the journal. You can find like this information in the database. Who is the publisher? You have the link to the homepage here, so you can have a look. You can find out what's the journal's topic, so you can decide whether this is interesting for you or not. You can find out what is the language of the journal, what is the format, whether they charge the article proceeding charges. You can see that this journal doesn't. You can find the links to the editorial board, aims of scope, instruction for the authors, and so on. So you would search for journals on your topic, and then you can see, like, you can decide, okay, this is interesting for me, and then you can have a look in more detail on the journal and decide whether this is a journal that you would be interested in publishing with. Yesterday I got the question about how about impact factor open access journals. So we will have a look on it now. So you want to publish open access and you want to publish in a journal that has impact factor. I'm going to Web of Science database. I will choose journal citation reports where I will find the journals. I will now just show you how to find out the open access journals here. So I'll just check the browse journals. I will select the category. I will select economics. And as you can see, here is another filter. I can just choose that I want to display just open access journals. And as you can see, I have like 24 journals that I can choose from. So you can choose like journals with quite high impact and that are open access as well. The same in Scopus. I'm in Scopus database. I choose sources because there's where I will find the journals. You can see that there are more than 31,000 journals included in Scopus database. And again, I can choose to display only open access journals. And now I have almost 6,000 open access journals that I can choose from. So this is how to choose the evaluated journals that are open access within those databases. And I will shortly mention hybrid journals. That is the special case. Hybrid journals are prepaid journals where you can pay for open access for your article. So for example, you have a journal and in one issue there is 20 articles and 2 of them are open access and 18 of them are prepaid articles. There is a problem with these journals because the university pays money for the subscription, so you would have access to the information in those journals, but it also pays for the open access for your articles, so there is the problem of double dipping. So if you would need immediate access to your information, please choose the fully open access journals, not the hybrid ones. Yeah, so choose the journal where the whole issue is open access, not just few articles. The other thing is that those hybrid journals are more expensive than the fully open access journals. With Gold Open Access, Creative Commons are linked with this issue. Creative Commons are open licenses that allows you to share your information more easily, because normally within copyright you have to sign the agreement with the user of your information, what he can do with it. You don't want to sign the license with each user of your information. You want to sign the agreement with unlimited number of the users, and that's where comes Creative Commons licenses. Creative Commons license have a few parts. Part that you use each time is CC BY, that one. That's mean attribution. This license means that you can do whatever you want with the work, but you always have to give credit to the author of the work. For example, you have a photograph and you want to change the color of the photograph, you want to use it in advertisement, and you want to share it with your friends, you can do it, but you have to state who's the author of the photograph. Another license is share alike. That means when you modify the work, you have to share the modified work within the same license. So for example, you would have English article and you would translate it into Vietnamese and you would like to share it with your colleagues. You have to share the translated article under the same license. So you have to share it under CC BY share alike, pardon. Another one is no commercial use. That means that you can't use the work that is licensed under this license for commercial purposes. Be aware that, for example, if you would have, again, photo that is licensed under this no commercial, you can't share it on the web page that gets get the money from advertisement. So be aware of this one. Yeah. So for example, again, if you have a video that is shared under this license, you can, I don't know, you can share this video with your friends. You can play it at home with your friends, but you can't share it within presentation that people paid for. Yeah, or you can't share it on a web page that has income from advertisement. So you can't share it on Facebook, for example. You can combine the licenses together. So if you have this one, you have to state who's the author of the photograph. You can't use the photograph commercially. And if you modify the photograph, you have to share the modified photograph under the same license. And the last license is no derived works. That means you can't modify the work. So that means that you can just share the original work. You can't modify it. So for example, we have another combination of the license. For example, you have some piece of text. You have to state who's the author. You can't share the text commercially and you can't modify the text. Okay, now you can try it yourself. I guess each of you have some topic that you write about, that you prepare article for. And I would like you to try to find open access journal where you can publish your paper and find out how much do they charge for article proceeding charges and what is the license that your article would be published. And how much do they charge for APC and what is the license?
There are no charge. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no charge. And what is the license?
But I don't know where can I find information the license of
this
journal. Yeah.
Here it is, yeah, at the top. So it means it's published under CC BY. So that means that your article, if someone finds your article, he can share it, he can build upon it, he can translate it, modify it, but he has to state that you are the author of the article. In this case of European Transport Research Review, okay, let's have a look. So yeah, 900 pounds. And what is the license? And I will show you in this case what I spoke about before, because yesterday I got a question about what about open access impact factor journals. So I will choose this European Transport Research Review, and so I know it's open access journal, and I will try to find out whether this journal is in Web of Science And as you can see, it's there and it has impact factor, so it's a good choice of journal. What about the other one? Challenges, and it publishes CC BY, which is great because then your article could be easily shared, could be easily built upon, and that's good. But is it clear for you, like where to look for the open access journals? It's good, like as the use the directory of open access journals first, because you can find the information about the license, about the peer review, about the article proceeding charge. And if you need to publish in impact factor journals, you can check whether the journal is in journal citation report and so on. Okay, if there are no questions, we can move on. And we will speak about the other way, how to make your article open, and that's the green way. That means that you publish in the subscribe journals, so you don't have to look for open access journals, but then you deposit your article in the repository. There are free version of the article that you can deposit. The first one, the article you send to the journal first, the article before peer review is called preprint. Then when it's gone through the peer review, after the peer review, it's called postprint. And then there is the final publisher's version, the published PDF. That's the article in the journal. So you can share those version of article. So you can immediately share the preprint because you haven't signed any copyright transfer agreement with the publisher yet, and the publisher hasn't done anything with the articles so far. So you have the full copyright to preprint, so you can do whatever you want with it. I will just state here that according to ethical codex of TBU, you shouldn't share the articles before peer review. So what we are more interested in is sharing postprints and the final version. So postprint is the version after the peer review. There might be few versions of the postprint, so it's always good to share the last version of the postprint. So that means that the content of the art of the postprint is similar to or is the same as the one that will be published in the journal. What's the difference between postprint and the final version? The final version has the typography of the journal. It has the paging and this kind of stuff. So it looks the same as in the journal. Postprint could look different, but the content is the same. Nowadays, all the big publishers allow you to deposit and share the print. For example, IEEE allows you to share the postprint at the same time when the article is published, but you have to wait up to 36 months by Elsevier. It differs from journal to journal. We can have a look on it. We can try to find. I will share a link with you about Elsevier. And I will have a look on it. I will try to, for example, I am writing to some journal about management. For example, I am writing to this energy conversion and management, and as you can see, the embargo is 24 months. So if I will publish this article on the 1st of January 2021, I can share it on the 1st of January 2023. How to find out what the publisher allows you to do with your article? You always sign the license agreement, the Copyright Transfer Act, where you transfer the rights of use to the publisher, but you can keep some of the rights for sharing. So you always have this information in the license you sign. If you want to know in advance what the publisher allows, they should state it in the publisher's web. You should be able to find the information about the about sharing, about the green open access on their website, and you can check in Sherpa Romeo database. Before we will have a look on the Sherpa Romeo database, I will just inform you where to find the information on our website. As you have this part be open, how to publish openly at our university. Down on the page, we put the information about the policies of the most important publishers, most of the authors from our university publish with. So you can find the information here if you would know. And now we will try to have a look in the Sherpa Romeo database. I will share the link with you again. So for example, I'm writing to Academy of Management Journal. And now I can find here the basic information. It's always good to check on the publisher's website as well, but this is like the first information. So what can I do with the final version, with the published version? I can share it in institution repository, in subject repository, and on my author's homepage, but 20 months embargo applies. And if I share the published version, it can't be used commercially and it can't be modified. And I have to, if I share the article, I have to add also the information, the link to publisher's version with DOI. And I have to like give the bibliographic reference to this published source. I can share the postprint. There are like two ways. So probably it's a hybrid journal, so I can pay for the open access. But paid maybe will be that I don't pay open access for the journals. So I can share the postprint after 12 months again. And I can share it within academic social network. Not many publishers allows you to share the articles within these academic social networks. You can share it in institution repository, in subject repository. And again, you have to acknowledge the published source and put a DOI. And submitted version, as I said, it's like the preprint. You can share it anywhere and with no embargo. So you can find this information in Sherpa Romeo, and we will have a look on it together. Again, we will do this one together, and then you will try the second one on your own. So if you can have a look on this journal that I shared the link. Okay, so I'm writing for International Journal of Biological Macromolecules. I can see there is open access options, so that means there's hybrid journals, but I don't have money for the article proceeding charge, so I will publish in this journal like as a prepaid journal, and I want to deposit the article after. So I can first check in Sherpa Romeo. Okay, so I put paid way B, published version, accepted version. I can see that I can share it in institutional repository after 12 months. I can have a look for this information in the web page as well. So I'm not interested in all gold open access because I don't have the money for the fee. So I'm interested in green open access, and as I can see, I can share the postprint in the institution repository. There is an embargo, and the embargo is 12 months. So that means if my article will be published on the 1st of January 2021, I can share the postprint 1st January 2022. Let's try the other one yourself. So I will share a link with you for this journal, and let's try to find out what version of the article can you share and what are the conditions. So let's try this one yourself. Find the answer, please write it down to the chat. No, that's what I'm not interested in. I don't want to pay for publishing this journal, so I use it as a subscribe, but I want to deposit the version of the article in the repository. So I'm interested in what version of the article can I share, whether I can share the final version or the postprint, and under what condition, if there is any embargo, or if I can share it immediately. So I'm interested in the self-archiving policy. Okay, so as you can see, you have few options. So you can have a look in Sherpa Romeo, where I found this journal. So it's this one because it's from Springer, and it tells me that I have 12 months embargo and I can share the postprint in institutional repository. I couldn't find the information easily on the webpage of the journal, so I googled for the publisher's policy. So I find the link about self-archiving policy. I'm interested in self-archiving policy in subscription-based journal. So I have like what I can do. There is like what are the options, and I can find out that I can share postprint the author's accepted manuscript after 12 months, so the same information, and share per Romeo. I have mentioned institutional repository a few times, so it's the best place where you can share your article. In Tomáš Bata University, we have also our own repository, so have a look on it. I will share the link with you again. So in the repository of publication from Tomáš Bata University, we archive the articles and proceedings from our authors. Actually, library is responsible for the archiving, so we always get notice that there are some articles in Web of Science or Scopus. We search for the articles. We check whether all the information is correct, and then we download the full text and deposit it into the repository. The full text of the article is available to everyone from TBU. So after you log in, you can access the articles. And if they are from open access journals, we share them to the general public. So for example, we can have a look on our Professor Petr Saha. You can see he has almost 400 articles here. And if I click on the first one, I can find the basic information. I can find the bibliographic information. I can read the abstract. I have the links to the full text here. I can find the useful information about how this article is used, how many people read it, share it, and download it. I can see that this one is locked, so I would need to log in to access this article. But this repository is indexed in some registries of repositories, so that means that there are many links leading to your article. So if you have the article in the repository and someone would look for articles on the topics, it will be listed high in the results because you have the link to the publisher, you have the link to the repository, and there are many links leading to the repository, so your article is easy to find. As a library, we are responsible for archiving the articles, so we do most of the job for you. But the problem is with postprints, because we can find the final version in most of the cases, but we don't have the postprint. The authors, you are the only one who have the postprint. And I would like to point out that according to the Rector's Decree number 3 from 2019, you should submit the postprint into OBD. Unfortunately, not many authors do this, so we don't have the postprint that we can share. You might notice that in spring this year, we write to the authors, you have postprints that can be shared, could you provide us the postprint? But as you can see, that's not really a good option, so we would be happy if you would follow this Victor's Degree and submit them into OBD, or you can send them directly to us and we will share it if we will be able to. Don't worry that we will share something that is not allowed to share. We always check the publisher's policy and share it according to the policy. So if there is an embargo, we will share it after the embargo. If there are any conditions, we follow the conditions, so don't worry. So you are a researcher and you have the results and you would like to publish your results and you want that many readers will read your article and will cite you. So first you can check in the SharePoint database about the options, or you decide whether you want immediate open access or wait open. If you need the immediate open access, you publish in open access journals. You pay the article processing charges if they are required, and then your article is available immediately. Or you publish in normal subscription-based journal, and then your article is self-archived in the repository. We do this part for you because we archive your article in our TBU repository, and then your article is accessible immediately or after some embargo, depending on the publisher's policy. I mentioned the special case of hybrid journals. That means you pay for open access just for your article, and then the rest of the journal is subscription based. There is a problem with double dipping because university pays twice. It pays for the subscription and it pays for the APC. So if you need the immediate open access, it's better to choose the fully open access journals. And we will move on to the other topic, which is connected with open access, and it's the predatory publishers. Predatory publishers are publishers who parasite on the idea of open access. They preside on the idea of gold open access, where you pay for the article open. Those are low quality publishers who just accept the fee, but they don't give you any extra stuff. There is usually no peer review. They just publish everything that is paid for. They state some false information or inaccurate. For example, you get a request for publishing there, you check the information, wow, it has high impact factor, but the truth is that it has no impact factor, or it has like, they have some misleading impact factor, global impact factor, world impact factor, and so on. Usually the information about the editorial board is missing, and so on. We will have a look on some concrete examples. A special case are hijacked journals. That means that it looks the same as some proper journal. For example, it looks like some British journal, but the banking account leads to India, for example. So it's like hijacked journal. We will have a look on the first one. I will share the link with you again. If we have a look on this journal, usually also the Predatory journal, they have some like really cool name like Global Journal or International Journal of something. Yeah, so as you can see, Journal of Advanced Research, that doesn't tell me much about what this journal focuses on. So I have a look. As I can see, it's focused on all fields like life sciences, health sciences. So you can publish about anything, which is another sign, because normally the journals are oriented more narrowly. Now I can see the information about impact factor. So I will check the information. I will go to journal citation reports and have a look for this journal. Wow, I can find it here. But it's probably not this one, because this is Journal of Elsevier, and it's Journal of Advanced Research, is not the Journal of Global Journal of Advanced Research. So I couldn't find the Global Journal of Advanced Research here, so what they stated here is not true. Also, there are some like moving titles and so on. That's also quite suspicious. As I can see the information about call for papers, the deadline is on the 24th of October, and it will be published in 7 days, which is not possible because, as you know, the publication process takes weeks and months. And we can have a look on the editorial team. I can see some names. There is no contact details, so I can check whether those scientists exist at all. Because what could happen, there could be real names of scientists, but they don't have a clue that they are in the editorial board. If you would be in editorial board of some proper journal, you would state it somewhere, but if you are in some low quality journal, you wouldn't tell it anywhere. So you can like check Google for those researchers if they are true researchers and whether they exist. So again, what could made me suspicious? First, the name, Global Journal, then the information about impact factor is false, and that the submission, like the submission period is too short, and then the information about editorial board is just like, you see here are some like names, they're not even full, there is no affiliation. So who are those people? That could make me suspicious. Those are two also well-known predatory publishers. You can get invitation to publish with lab publishing. They search within the repositories and they find the final thesis, the diploma thesis, and they will send you invitation to publish your final thesis as a book. And the other one is Magnanimitas. It's a Czech predatory publisher. They invite you to conferences. Those conferences are in cool places, but they are predatory and they are false. So avoid those. So what to do to avoid predatory publishers? You might have heard about Beall's list of predatory publishers. Jeffrey Beall is an American librarian, and he was making a list about suspicious publishers and journals. But one day his web page shut down. So you can't find the Beall's list anymore, like the original one, but you can find it in Internet Archive. In UTB, we have the database Cables. I will have a look on it as well. And within Cables, there is predatory reports, so you can check your journal there, whether it's not there, and you can see in each journal you have written down what are their violations against some good editorial policies. So you can check the journals there. Have a look on the webpage Think Czech Summit. It has also Czech version Think de Publikuj. And you can read through some useful tips what to do before you choose the journal. Yes, there is some like checklist what you should check when you are deciding about the concrete journal. If you can easily identify the publisher, if the information about the fees and the editorial board are correct, and this kind of stuff. So I would recommend you to have a look on those webpage as well. I have some examples. You can have a look on them together. I will do just the first one. Okay, I have this Advances in Science, Technology, and Engineering journal. Again, it's told me it's registered in Scopus, so that would be first thing I would check. Okay, still Technology, Engineering Systems journals. Okay, I can find it there, so that's first thing. And what I usually do, and what I could recommend you to do as well when you are not sure, I just Google it. I just put the name of the journal into Google and add Predatory, and you can see that it finds me that it was in some list of predatory journal. And what I have also find out before, and that what you usually would find, you would usually find that there was already someone who asked about this journal. So as you can see here, the researchers asked about the journal, and you have like some replies from the other colleagues, and they said it was in Beall's list, and there are some red flags that there are the names of someone who doesn't exist, and so on. So it's always good to check. So you can check it in the Web Archive Beall's list, you can check it in Cables, or you can just Google for it, whether it's predatory or not. Okay, so that was about predatory publishers, and now the last part of my presentation about open data, which I will mention shortly. Open access is just a part of more broader term open science, and as you can see, there are more stuff included, and so you can expect more in these fields to happen. I would shortly mention open data because European Commission is like very interested in open data, and there will be like policies that will force you to share not just the articles but share the data as well. The European Commission has this approach to make the data as open as possible, as closed as necessary. That means if you can share the data, so you like if you share the data, there are no like personal information, nothing that would threaten the security, the national security or security of some person, you can share them. And if you can't share them, you explain why you can't share the data. The data should be also fair. That means findable, approachable, interoperable, and reusable. And what is linked with data or data sharing is data management plan. You might already meet this obligation to write data management plan if you participate in a Horizon 2020 project. It will be obligatory in Europe, Horizon Europe, which will be the next project. And there is some European regulation about open data, which you should prepare that there might be the obligatory to share the data as well and to write the data management plan. The data management plan is a document that said what do you do with the data during their whole life process. So what data you would produce, where would you keep them, how would you share them, and so on. We are preparing a questionnaire about open data and about how you work with data. Hopefully we will have this questionnaire prepared in November for you. So then we will send it to every researcher here. So we will be happy if you fill in the questionnaire so we would know what you need in this area. Because as I mentioned, European Commission would make data sharing obligatory. They also preparing a cloud where you can share those data. So there will be, so you will have an option to share your data in European Science Cloud. So don't worry, we will inform you about this topic in our webpage. So let me like summarize what we spoke about. So you have the research, you have your research result, and you have your data. So at the first, you have to decide whether you want to protect the results of your research. Yeah, and if you want to protect like through patenting or other form of protection, that's the first thing you have to decide. Because if you want to protect your data, you can't share them through the article. So you have to do the patenting first, and then you share it through the article. So if you decide that you this protection and you want to share your results through the articles, you share the articles, so you can choose the immediate open access through the open access journals, or you can choose the immediate or delayed open access through self-archiving. And then you have the research data, and so you can share those ones that you can you share them. And if you have data that you can't share, so for example the personal information, you just deposit them somewhere and the access is restricted. But for me as a potential user, I should be aware that there are some data, and that's who produced them, what the data are about, and if they are shareable or not. There is no question. I thank you for your attention. Be sure that if you would have any question in the future, don't hesitate to contact me or contact my colleague as well. You can contact us on this via this email, and you can have a look on our webpage. So I would be happy now if you can.
Excuse me. I can. I have a question because the yeah, I can share the link. You can talk before. You talk before, and yeah. As friends, do you know the name? The advanced in science, technology, and in engineering systems. You know. Yeah, can when I search by ISSN in the SCI major, you know, and I don't know is the right or wrong.
Excuse me, there is some noise in your side, so can you type the question into the chat, because I'm not sure if I fully understood what you were asking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you can type the question, please, because there is a noise on your side and I didn't understand clearly. Before I got your question, I would like to inform you that we have a kind of service that if you are not sure about the journal where you want to publish, you can ask the library for help. So we can check the journal for you. So we can check whether it seems okay, whether it's listed in the databases, whether it's good, whether it's evaluated properly, and so on. So you can ask us. So you want to change, yeah, this one I mentioned, advances in technology and yeah, it looks okay at the first. And use, yeah, in the Simago, yeah. Engineering system, yeah, that one is quite tricky, yeah, because yeah, you're right, it's in Scopus. I choose this one as an example because it's not like this global journal of something that it's visible from the first site. But as I show you, as I went through this like discussion about the journal, that it was listed in the beard list, so it's suspicious, but it doesn't tell you that it's yeah, it's not enough to draw a conclusion, but it's a warning sign. And as I was speaking about, it's always good to check the editorial board. So there is some Professor Paserini Kazimierski, who is supposed to be a professor of University of Chicago, but there is no one of such name in University of Chicago, and as they said, it looks like US journal, but according to the ISSN number is Pakistan, so it's also suspicious, and so on. So again, you know, there are some red flags. Remind me of some important information. You can find predatory journals in Web of Science and Scopus. Yeah, they are there because they usually help each other, or you have a predatory publisher who have more journals and they cite each other. So
Yeah.
they have some citation rank and they could have impact factor. Like the databases are doing their best to avoid to have the predatory publishers there, but you can find the publishers there. like my first example was like, you can see it from the first side that it's like suspicious journal, but as we can see on this journal, it's much harder. So if you are not sure, don't hesitate to ask us. We will do this check for you. Yeah, so we can spend the time with it. As I said, I normally I Google it with the term predatory, and I usually have a look on the instruction for authors, whether there is enough information, because like every proper journal will give you enough information about how long should be the abstract, what is the structure of the article, how to make the proper reference. You should have the information about the peer review, how long does it take, whether it's single or double blind or open review. So the instructions for authors are like consist enough information. Then I would check the editorial board, whether there is affiliations of the authors. So I would know that this professor is from University of Chicago, for example. If I have the contact details on them, then I would check whether this person, if I will see that there is like someone from University of Cambridge, for example, from some really like high class university, I would check whether this person exists at all. If he exists, I will check whether whether I can find any connection with between this person and this journal. If normally you have like some authors homepage where you can find what have they published, societies, and whether they are linked with some journals, whether they are in editorial board. So it's a lot of Googling. But normally when you like look for articles or look for journals to publish, you should ask your supervisor or your colleagues whether they know some good journals, or do not hesitate to ask the librarians, because we can do the checking for you. Any other question? So if not, again, thank you for your attention. You should have the slides available within this channel. And again, if you would have any questions in the future, do not hesitate to contact me. So bye-bye and have a nice day.